The Korean peninsula shivers under the cold breath of October 1951. On a desolate piece of high ground, a number etched onto a military map, a man watches the bruised purple light of dawn creep over the horizon. His knuckles are white where he grips the cold steel of his rifle. This is Hill 284, a place of freezing mud and shattered trees. Sweat beads on the sergeant's brow, defying the frigid air. His gaze is fixed, scanning the shadowy expanse below his position. The world is quiet, too quiet. It's the kind of silence that screams. This is Sergeant Stanley Christianson. He's not a general in a warm tent, poring over maps. He's a platoon sergeant on the line, the living anchor for a group of young men far from home. His helmet, its paint scuffed and worn, sits low over his eyes. A thin layer of grime coats his face, etched into the lines of exhaustion around his mouth. Below him, the Korean landscape rolls away in waves of brown and gray, a brutal, unforgiving terrain. The war here is not a clean affair of advances and retreats. It is a desperate, grinding struggle for every rocky outcrop, every frozen ridge. The men in their foxholes look to him. A fresh-faced private shivers, his breath pluming in the air as he clutches his M1 Garand. Another soldier nervously adjusts the ammunition belt feeding his machine gun, his eyes darting back and forth. They are holding a small, seemingly insignificant piece of the United Nations line. But here in the vast meat grinder of the Korean War, every inch of ground is paid for in blood. The Chinese have entered the conflict, pouring across the Yalu River in immense numbers. Their strategy is simple, brutal, and terrifyingly effective. Overwhelm, engulf, and destroy. Stanley Christianson knows they are coming. He can feel it in the electric tension that hangs in the air, a feeling as real as the biting wind that whips across the barren hilltop. A single, shrill whistle slices through the morning quiet. It's an alien sound, thin and sharp. Heads snap up along the defensive line. Eyes strain against the gloom, trying to penetrate the shifting morning mist. A flicker of movement appears in the valley below. Then another. Then 100 more. The ground itself seems to writhe as a wave of figures in thick, quilted uniforms begins its inexorable climb up the hill. They don't run in a clean charge. They move as a single, massive organism, a human tide flowing over the broken earth. A desperate shout rips through the air, and the world explodes. The Browning machine gun opens up, its heavy thumps echoing across the valley. Muzzle flashes from dozens of rifles light up the faces of the defenders, grim masks of concentration and fear. Brass casings arc through the air, glinting in the chaotic light before landing in the mud. The first wave of the Chinese attack hits the barbed wire, their momentum carrying them forward even as the machine gun sides through their ranks. The air fills with the shriek of bugles and the screams of men. Sergeant Christianson is a blur of motion. He moves from foxhole to foxhole, his voice a steady, calming force amidst the pandemonium. He slaps a fresh clip into a young soldier's trembling hands. He adjusts the field of fire for the machine gunner, pointing out a new threat materializing from the smoke. His own rifle barks, dropping a figure scrambling over a pile of rocks. He is everywhere at once, a bulwark against the rising tide of chaos. His eyes, narrowed against the acrid smoke, miss nothing. He sees the sheer, overwhelming number of the enemy. He sees the fear in his men's faces. And he sees his duty. The first wave breaks, recoiling from a ferocious defense, leaving behind a carpet of still forms on the hillside. But the silence that follows is short-lived, filled only with the ragged breathing of the defenders and the cries of the wounded. A metallic taste of dread hangs in the air. Christianson knows this is just the beginning. He quickly checks his platoon status. Ammunition is low. Casualties are mounting. A medic works frantically, his hands stained dark as he rips open a field dressing. Before they can even begin to regroup, the bugles sound again, closer this time. A second wave, even larger than the first, rises from the mist. They surge forward, undeterred by the fate of their comrades, their determined faces visible now in the growing light. The machine gun roars back to life, but its bursts are shorter, more controlled. Every bullet is precious. Rifles crack, each shot aimed with desperate precision. The enemy soldiers reach the American lines, spilling over the sandbags and into the trenches. The battle dissolves from a range firefight into a brutal, close-quarters brawl. The world shrinks to the space of a muddy trench. Muzzle flashes illuminate contorted faces, a chaotic ballet of grunts, shouts, and the sickening thud of rifle butts against bone. Christianson is in the thick of it. He fires his last clip, the rifle kicking hard against his shoulder. He swings the heavy wooden stock, connecting with a helmeted head. He shoves a soldier to the ground, spinning to face another. The fighting is savage, primal. There's no strategy left, only survival. The second wave is repulsed, but the cost is devastating. The American position is a wreck of splintered sandbags and discarded equipment. The silence returns, heavier and more profound than before. Christianson stands breathing heavily, leaning against the trench wall. He looks at the few remaining men. Their faces are hollowed out, their eyes wide with shock. A soldier frantically pats his ammo pouches, his expression turning to one of pure horror. He holds up his empty hands. A chorus of clicks echoes down the line as other men check their own rifles. The dreadful realization dawns. They are out of ammunition. The bugles sound for a third time. This is it. The final crushing wave. There is no retreat. There is nowhere to run. The remaining men look at their sergeant, their faces a mixture of terror and resignation. Stanley Christianson's face shows no fear. In its place is a cold, hard resolve. He looks down at his empty rifle. He then looks at the bayonet fixed to its muzzle, its long steel blade catching the morning light. He unhooks the 2 grenades from his belt, their ridged metal shells feeling heavy and solid in his palm. He gives his final order, his voice cutting through the men's despair. Fix bayonets. As the third wave pours into the trench, Sergeant Christianson roars and surges forward to meet them. He is no longer just a soldier. He is a force of raw, untamed defiance. He pulls the pin on a grenade with his teeth and lobs it into a cluster of advancing soldiers. The explosion is a deafening crump, carving a hole in the enemy ranks. He doesn't wait to see the result. He lowers his rifle, its bayonet pointed forward, and charges directly into the breach. His movements are a blur of deadly efficiency. The bayonet lunges, parries, and thrusts. He fights with the ferocity of a cornered animal, a one-man fortress holding back the flood. He is a whirlwind of violence in the center of the storm, his entire being focused on a single, brutal task. He will not give this ground. He will not let these men be overrun. An enemy soldier raises his rifle, but Christianson is faster, his own weapon a blur as he deflects the blow and drives his bayonet home. He pulls it free and spins, his rifle stock cracking against another attacker's jaw. He is a terrifying specter of American resolve, fighting alone against impossible odds. The world around him fades into a red haze of exhaustion and fury. He feels a sharp, burning pain in his side, then another in his shoulder. He stumbles but does not fall. He continues to fight, a grim statue of resistance amidst the chaos. He swings and thrusts, his breath coming in ragged gasps, his body screaming in protest. He is fueled by nothing more than pure will. He will take as many as he can with him. He will make them pay for every single inch of this forsaken hill. The sun is higher now, casting its pale light over the aftermath. The battle for Hill 284 is over. American reinforcements move cautiously up the slope, their weapons ready. The air is still and heavy with the smell of cordite and death. The hillside is a landscape of utter devastation. They find the remnants of the platoon, scattered and broken. And then, in the center of the most heavily contested part of the trench, they find him. Sergeant Stanley Christianson lies on the frozen Korean earth. His fight is over, but he is not alone. Arranged in a circle around him are the bodies of 8 enemy soldiers. His empty rifle is still clutched in his hands, its bayonet dark and stained. It is a silent, shocking tableau, a testament to a final stand of almost unimaginable bravery. The soldiers who find him stop, their faces a mixture of awe and profound respect. In the quiet of the morning, on a numbered hill in a forgotten war, they bear witness to the final, defiant act of a true hero. His body is a silent monument to the price of courage, a story written in blood and steel on the cold ground, a legend forged in the last, desperate moments of a man who refused to break. Tell me your favorite war story I should talk about next. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.